Yo, what's up, everybody? We're just getting started, and I'm with Tayib of HouseOfKicks.com, making sure
Salute.
we get into this discussion today. And that discussion is FootLocker's 28% stock drop and all of the wrong information that's being put out there by all these different blogs, sneaker blogs, companies as big as Bloomberg.
You mean
They have this they have
Yeah.
this massive amount of information that is being disseminated on these big platforms, and it's wrong in regard to what's happening with FootLocker. And you know what me and what Tayib and I are always trying to do is trying to make the sneaker community a lot smarter and get us on point. So we're going to jump into this discussion and talking about what is really happening with FootLocker, because we predicted this a year ago. Even though
Actually,
I was really high on
2 years
FootLocker,
ago.
we
I
predicted
think
it.
it's almost 2 years ago.
It's oh yeah, it is probably about 2 years ago. But once again, this is Chris, ARCHBYCCB on Twitter, arch-usa.com, and I'm talking with Tayib of House of Kicks. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
This is Tayib from houseofkicks.com, and I specialize in what do I specialize in, man? Just pretty much trying to get you guys to be a lot more smart. I'm not saying I'm smarter, but I'm saying we're trying to really educate you on the sneakers, on the business aspect of it. We don't want you to just buy these shoes, but we want you to understand what motivates certain companies to do what they do. And then we touch on a lot of topics like fakes and then Nike and their outlet and what they're doing. And it's a lot of things that we talk about. And today we have about 15 minutes. So we're going to talk about what really happened to FootLocker, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We like Chris said, we talked about it about 2 years ago, and we knew this was going to happen, so it wasn't a surprise to me or him. So we're going to go ahead and we're not going to talk anymore. Now we're just going to jump into the topic. So Chris, in your opinion, what is going on here, and then what really killed FootLocker?
All right, so let me be honest, full disclosure. Last year actually at about October last year, I was really high on FootLocker. I said that FootLocker has had the ability to adjust, right? Basically, adapt to the market moving really fast. So we know that Nike was dropping and we know that Adidas was rising. And when you walked into a FootLocker or a Foot Action or a Champs or a Kids FootLocker or a Fly Zone or a House of Hoops, all of these different channels, you could see FootLocker changing the way their store was laid out. They had moved Adidas to the front of the store. So you had a lot of the merchandising was fantastic for FootLocker. And I thought that FootLocker could continue to overcome issues of Nike making this really concentrated push into direct to consumer. So last year I was really high on FootLocker, and then I started dropping and changing my perception because I was like, Nike's push is going to screw everybody up. And Nike making this hard drive to get directly to the customer is really the effect that's taking place over the entire sneaker, right? So FootLocker that's having the problem, Nike's dominance and their drive to get right to the customer's pocket, that's messing up all of sportswear retail. That's what the real problem is. But we're going to stay on FootLocker. So you asked me what really is the problem with FootLocker. The same thing that's the problem with almost everybody, an over-reliance on Nike product. Over-reliance on Nike product.
And well, I'll add to that there's a lot of things that are going on now. Like, to be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I bought something from FootLocker, so to speak. Like, I still buy stuff from FootLocker, but my main place now is DTLR, Downtown Locker Room, or I go to places like Jimmy Jazz or Shoe City. And you know why? Because they have better sales and better prices on the same retros and whatever other shoes that's hot out there. They have the better prices. I mean, their sales are like better. You know, I'll go to DTLR and I find something there for like $59, and you go up to Foot Locker, it's still like $149, and they have the sales tag on it, say $149 on sale for $189, and you see the same thing at DTLR for $79. I mean, I don't care how much I like Foot Locker and the layout. I don't really care about the layout. I'm looking for the best prices. Yes, I walk into a Foot Locker, and Foot Locker is not like a wardrobe. You go in there, you try the shoes on, and then you go online to get it for cheap. So nobody's really buying these things because their prices are way too high, and they can't really mark it down, because if they do it too soon enough, they're gonna have a problem with Nike. And then so what they do is their sale price are the worst in the entire market. So they have to RTV the items, so they can't sell this thing, and they send it back to Nike, and then those same things you see at Nike at the Nike outlet for like $69. You know, something that Foot Locker could have sold for $69, they can't, because Nike won't allow them to like mark down the price. So they have to like send it back to Nike, and then Nike in turn takes it and put it in their outlet. So Nike is the big brother out there, really just controlling everything. And then so because of it, smaller companies like DTLR, Jimmy Jazz, and all these other places are like taking away like Foot Locker's market. And you can explain it better because you live in Memphis, man, and you know exactly what's going on with City Gear. You go ahead and you tell me your side of things, man.
All right, that's good, man. It's good to make that transition right at 10 minutes and 30 seconds, 5 minutes in. Hopefully everybody's sticking with us. So here's the thing. I was just writing a paragraph. I was doing an article, and I was talking about Foot Locker and disadvantages, right? And this is a very important paragraph, all right? And it matches up with you and what you're talking about. I wrote that Foot Locker disadvantage. Foot Locker needs to close strip mall stores. Now, this is happening in Memphis already, right? So we had a couple of standalone destination stores for Foot Locker in Memphis, one on Perkins, one on 3rd Street. And we used to have one at, well, no, we had a Foot Locker outlet. So we had 3 different Foot Locker locations. They're all closed now. This is why they have to start closing those stores. And it's already in motion. So Foot Locker's closing these stores, right? Well, Foot Locker's in direct competition with stores like City Gear, Jimmy Jazz, and DTLR. So if we talk about the South, we talk about the Midwest, we talk about the East Coast, you have these stores, right? And they have direct access to the heavy promotional environment of stores like City Gear, Jimmy Jazz, and DTLR, who are offering prices below retail in many instances, and do 2 things. They prop up the gray market, but they also have created this promotional environment that we're in right now. And that's what's really killing Foot Locker is Foot Locker, like you said, they can't match the sales that these smaller chains can put on. And it's that promotional market that has killed Foot Locker and hurt Foot Locker, because they have to drop their sale prices now. They have to retros on sale within a month of the shoes releasing. That hasn't happened.
They have to, because it's not just retros, man. It's NMDs too. I walked in DTLR the other day. They got these the Prime Knit NMD with a gum sole for $119. You go up to Foot Locker, they're still like $170. Why would I want to waste my money and buy them from Foot Locker if I could get the same thing for $119 or $125? You see what I'm saying? And that's a huge thing. That's a big problem for Foot Locker. They can't handle it. It's just too much heat.
I mean, that's the big problem. Now, what we have is misinformation, because we said we were going to talk about the misinformation that's happening with Bloomberg. NPDs, Matt Powell. And yeah, I may argue and fuss about Matt Powell and the data and that he's not in the streets or anything else, or he doesn't wear sneakers. I may talk about him, but the dude knows his stuff. I'm not going to sit here in front. And he gave the statistics and the fact that sales, right, of premium shoes is up. I can't dispute what he's saying. He's exactly right. Sales are up. All of this information, everybody's saying that expensive sneakers aren't selling, expensive sneakers aren't doing this, and it's on the soul collectors and the sneaker news websites and all of that. And they have this very surface kind of way of covering these things, and it's wrong. So it's like, here is Matt Powell giving you this data about the sale prices going up. Shoes are selling at a higher price. There's just fewer shoes selling. Everybody thinks is that, oh, that means that expensive shoes aren't selling. That's not the case. Bloomberg wrote an entire article built on the premise that expensive shoes aren't selling. That's about the dumbest crap. The expensive shoes are selling. If the average price of shoes have gone up, that means expensive shoes are selling.
Yep.
What's happened is that Nike, who makes a shoe at $190, they're heavily discounting the shoes, and the Nike shoes are sitting. Adidas shoes are selling at a price of $170 to $180, and it's consistent. Ultra Boost sells out. NMD sells out. Now they're starting to sit a little bit. Now, if we look at the third quarter, we may see a little bit of a slowdown with Adidas coming up. But the stuff is selling, man. Nike isn't selling as much. And when Nike slows down, the entire industry takes a hit because Nike is so dominant overall. If you control 55% of the market, 11% of the market, everything drops.
Everything drops.
Although Adidas picks up, it's not enough to account for the fact that Nike dropped.
It's interesting because, again, I've talked about it a few weeks ago. I'm saying that the consumer is getting smarter. If you go on Facebook, how many sneaker groups are there posting up links of outlet stores with like cheapest prices, like even Vegas? There was a shoe, what was there for 99 plus 20% of the All-Star Jordan 6? You know, so why would I want to? So as a consumer, I feel like there's no pressure for me to buy these shoes at full retail. I can wait because it's gonna go to the outlet, and I know that's gonna happen. So FootLocker is pretty much shooting himself in the head, man. With that kind of agreement they have with Nike, is really killing them. And now let's add on to this another small little thing, which is the counterfeit. You know, I mean, the counterfeiters, as bad as they are, you know, they are really digging in, and then they're also taking a share of this market. Like a lot of these guys, there's this place that I talked about, like Perfect Kicks. I mean, these shoes are like almost impossible to tell. You know, it's like, and these guys have maybe 96,000 followers. Now, see how many sneakers they're selling already. So that's those things that, I mean, there may not be a correlation between that and what's happening to FootLocker, but let's not forget. Now, if every year there's like 10 of those, like companies like Perfect Kicks that are like being birthed, what do you think is going to happen? And each of them has about 100,000 followers. That's about 1 million people that they're taking away. And all these people are like this, man. Why would I want to sit in line and try to get this shoe from FootLocker? Forget it. I'm just going to get it from the fake joint. Because you know what? They look the same. It's the same thing. I ain't going to waste my money. I'm just going to go over there and just get it. I'm not going to buy them on eBay. These guys and guess what? These dudes, these fake counterfeiters, they have Instagram accounts and they engage the consumer. They talk to the consumer. They share. They ask them questions. How do you guys want us to make this? Should we make the box this way? What is missing here? Help us fix the shoes. And they're investing in like better machineries and then better stuff. And they're using the same material that Nike is using. Because guess what? Nike is getting everything done in those countries. So they get access to it. That's not a problem. And they're getting better. So I'm not saying that this is really disrupting FootLocker, but it might be. It's just something that we need to also take into account, you know. But you're right, man. Dead on with what you said. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I think it's a really good point about the idea of the fake shoe market having some kind of effect on the overall market. Big enough to really, like you said, disrupt anything, you know, but it's considerable enough that people are, you know, buying more expensive shoes from the fake people. So here, yeah, you do have this drop in these more expensive shoes because of the fake, you know, fake shoe companies. But, you know, it's really at the core of it. It's the promotional environment that everything is going on sale so quickly. The people who are supposed to be wearing these kicks and, you know, that they're supposed to be marketed towards, these people like experiences. They want to feel as if they're a part of it. And that's one of the things that I will say over and over again. And I wanted to get into you know, how FootLocker can stop the bleeding. You know what? FootLocker needs to call you and I and do a consultation, because I mean, at the end of the day, if I put this all on a video, they can just go try it, and if it works, they win, and they don't pay us anything. But the reality is, City Gear, Finish Line, Hibbett Sports, DTLR, Jimmy Jazz. I can keep going through all the different retail outlets. They all have the same problem that Nike and Adidas do not have. Nike and Adidas are building their direct to consumer, right? And when you go to their platforms, Nike and Adidas understand the value of content creation. These other businesses get it. None of them. So when we sit here and we start analyzing all of this stuff and we start thinking about it, at the core of the problem for FootLocker and a lot of these different places, using promotion to get people in the stores. Promotion. I don't care about your sale. I'll buy a $195 pair of Ultra Boost every day if they're dope and I like them. It's not your sale that's going to get me in the store. It's the way, as a consumer, I need an experience. Adidas gets it.
Hey man, you brought a great point. Do you know why I'm saying that? Because the same shoe that I'm selling on FootLocker, I'm selling on Amazon for twice as much. Why would people? The experience. You're right. They engage the consumer, and I see the countdown, man. That kind of sucks, because I wanted, you know, there's a lot more things that we could talk about, you know. But you're right. You're right, man. You gonna wrap it up now?
Yeah, we gotta go ahead and wrap it up, man. We 9, 8, 7. It's Chris and Tayib, AHN, Art Times House and Cake Network. Go to the site, subscribe to the channel, and maybe we'll come back and do another video on this part of it. But we're gonna stop this broadcast, and we appreciate everybody that subscribed to both channels. I said, we've gotten our visits up to 100,000 visits a month, which is incredible. And man, we really thank you guys. It shows that you want deeper and fresher content. You just don't want to, boy, and this is the hot really starting to get to the point where you're like, yo, we want to be bosses in this business. We want to know more about this business. And if we can help people get there, that's what the goal is. Let's all get smarter. Let's all love these cakes, man, and let's take care of the community.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one.
I appreciate your time, man. Thanks again for having me here.
Peace.